It is very common to have a spiritual awakening or a spiritual experience that does not last. And it's very natural to have this urge to live or rest in this place, this way that you have discovered. But if your spiritual awakening does not persist, have no fear. This is what you can do. We're going to discuss that in this video. And first, we're going to look at why does this happen? Why did that beautiful moment go? So as pure and beautiful as spiritual awakenings are and pure spiritual insights, they are supported. What makes them possible, what makes it able to persist, is the structure or architecture, our body consciousness. There are all of these layers of structure, whether they are we could call them our nervous system or our energy body or our light body, that underpin the state of consciousness that we are having now. So in my experience, if a spiritual awakening doesn't persist, what that really means is that the underlying structure is just not ready to support that experience that you had as a persistent day-to-day experience, which means that what we can do, our response when we have this beautiful awakening, is to support the underlying structure to shift, to help align us with the reality that we are opening into. So here are 4 things that we can do. The first is don't panic, or in affirmative terms, you would say relax. Now, wherever you are in this process, it's going to be very natural to want to hold on, to get back, to strive to get to where we were, to be frustrated. That's quite natural. But we're going to have to learn how to relax. I mean, you're going to have to learn how to relax. Anyways, it's the fundamental activity of spirituality. Learning to relax, learning to soften is a way to support opening through consciousness. So one is orient yourself to relaxation. Learn practices, learn the way to ground yourself in your body and support this opening. Again, the habit will be to get back to something or to be frustrated or to try. And we're going to have to learn how to do is to soften and relax. Now, the second thing is to be motivated. So at the same time that I'm inviting you to relax, this doesn't mean that you give up or you be sort of emotionally flat. It's very natural to have a tremendous amount of desire, or joy, or even sadness for what you have now gained and lost. I call it a next level problem. Before, you didn't even know that life could be so beautiful or open or impersonal. And now that you know, your ordinary reality may be satisfying, or you may miss the beauty of what you had for a period of time or just a moment. And at the same time that we are relaxing, we really want to honor the deep feelings and drives and impulses that you have in you in response to this. It's going to evoke a lot of energy and motivation. You're going to want it. And so while we are relaxing, we're going to really want to feel all of that. Having a spiritual awakening can make you become a very motivated person. And as we learn to relax, that motivation becomes really essential in creating the transformation in the structure of the body that's needed to take us to where we are going, to abiding or living in our awakening. So these motivations, all the things that come up, really are not in the way, they are the way. They are the fuel, they are the movement that's required for more and more transformation in the body. So we're going to want to engage with that content. That's the third thing. We're going to want to engage as broadly as possible. So this awakening that you've had, that you are hoping for, or that you had for a period of time, it's going to require the movement of so many things in your body, and beyond that, in your life, to support this new way of seeing and being. So we're going to want to engage with as many levels of life that are necessitating this change. So the obvious ones are within the body and mind, all the content, the thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, the patterns of behavior, the way we treat our body, our lifestyle, all the things that we do on a day-to-day basis are going to have to shift to support this transformation. So what engage means is, it both means in terms of spiritual practice, to use this motivation and really engage in the spiritual practices that support relaxation, that support the movement of energy, that support the content that needs to arise. But beyond that, engage with your life, like really pay attention to the signals that life is sending you about the way things are, the way things they have been, and what in your life needs to shift. So for me, I had a big awakening experience. It was a beautiful experience, and I so deeply craved to live there. But beyond that, everything in my life was now up for transformation. Not just my consciousness, but where I lived, who I lived with, how I engaged, the work I did. Every facet of my life is part of this transformation. So we're going to engage with our personal developmental practices or meditation, the therapy that you might be involved in, all of that, but also really pay attention to the signs that life is giving you, both the doors that are opening for you and the things that are no longer working. And we're going to want to adjust, or we're going to want to shift our lifestyle. And the fourth thing that I recommend is to get help. Now, that can be through spiritual books or spiritual teachers or spiritual, like a sangha, a group, anything that provides a sort of structure that can relate to you in this new way. You may find the people in your life don't know a lot about the experience that you had or the consciousness that you are seeking to live in. You may find that you experience a lot of confusion and a real change in the way that you see life. Well, fear not, there are many, many people in the world who have some level of experience with this, whether they're your peers or teachers who may have a map, a developmental map that can really help you. So as our world is shifting into a new reality, we want to really get support with others who are going there, who have been there, who are there, who know the territory well and can support you. And this helps in so many ways. One of the main ways, you just get to relate and be with people who will meet you there and who know about it. Your connection becomes about this beautiful spiritual path that you're on and the awakening that you are seeking to live. Other people can see where you are and can start to recognize the things that are moving in you and that need to move in you and to support them. So for me, I remember feeling just like so tremendously excited about what was happening to me. And also like I didn't really know what was happening to me. I didn't know why I had headaches or why I had all these intense experiences of energy all the time randomly. And I found resources and teachers who described the transformational process that occurred for me. One teacher in particular, Adyashanti, developed a map that it was his map that I think has worked for many, many students. And everything that he said on this map, everything that he listed, every single one of them happened to me. So then I had this external structure. Teachers can be an external structure for your process that helps you relax a little bit, know where you are, and recognize where you are going. So for me, I was at the time down in the body. And so then when I realized this, I recognized, I can go with this process. This process is going to take me down in my body, and this is where I can go, learn how to participate more in life. So that's what I wish for you. If you have had a spiritual awakening and it is not stabilized, have no fear. That's happened to me. Pretty much every new level, there is a radical shift that requires a tremendous amount of movement to stabilize in. I've had that happen over and over again. I've gotten used to it. And now I support other people to do that too. So if you are looking for support, I would love to help you. I'd love to hear what has happened and what is happening for you. You can look at the description below. I have a link and you can meet with me. We can talk about your development, your awakening, where you are, and where you are going. I hope this helps, and blessings on your journey.